Three most important things to know if you are thinking about pursuing a wrongful death claim on behalf of a deceased loved one are these three things. Number one, who has the right to bring the claim? Number two, how is the money distributed if there is a settlement or verdict? And number three, what kind of damages can you get? Well, let's start with number one. Number one is who has the right to bring the case for wrongful death. It can't just be anybody. It can't be the son, the daughter, the wife, the husband. It has to be the personal representative of the deceased estate. Now, what is that? When somebody passes away, an estate has to be opened in the probate court of their county where they reside. And if somebody has a will, it will say who is the personal representative of the estate. And that person has the authority to be the representative of the estate and to bring the wrongful death claim in court. If the person dies without a will, then the person who has priority to be the personal representative of the estate is the surviving spouse. And if there is no surviving spouse, then the next of kin is up next in line. So it can't just be anybody that feels like doing it. It has to be somebody who can be bonded and established and set up as the personal representative of the estate. If it's just a family member who files a wrongful death suit, the case would be dismissed, at least under Alabama law. The second most important thing to know is how is the money distributed if there is a settlement or a verdict? Well, again, if there's a will of the deceased, you would think the money would pass according to the will. But that's not true, at least in Alabama. Any money awarded in a wrongful death case in Alabama passes under what's called the rules of intestacy. And the rules of intestacy are essentially statutes that are default rules for how money is distributed if somebody dies without a will. For example, the rules of intestacy in Alabama are if there's a surviving spouse and no children, the spouse would get it all. If there was no surviving spouse, but there are children, then the children would receive it in equal portions. And as you can guess, some people have more complicated familial relationships, and the rules of intestacy can be a little confusing at times. But it's important to know that the money does not pass in accordance with the will, and that's even assuming the deceased had a will. So the third most important thing to know is what kind of compensation can you get? What kind of damages? Alabama is a little unique in this regard. In Alabama, you cannot get compensatory damages. Now, compensatory damages are things like medical costs, pain and suffering, mental anguish, loss of income. Things like that cannot be awarded by a jury in Alabama. Seems strange, but that's the law. In Alabama, the only kind of damages you can claim for a wrongful death are punitive damages. Punitive damages are not designed to compensate the family whose loved one is deceased. Punitive damages are money that's awarded by a jury to punish the wrongdoer and to protect the sanctity of life and to deter the defendant and others from committing similar wrongful conduct in the future. So a lot of a wrongful death case is about punishing the wrongdoer. So, for example, in a car wreck, if somebody has a bad day and runs a red light and accidentally kills somebody, that's one thing. Another is if they are drunk driving and run the red light. Well, you can see how those two cases may have different values because the person who is drunk driving probably deserves to be punished a little bit more, maybe a lot more. But that's one of the unique things about Alabama law is that when somebody's passed away, no compensatory damages for what the family's gone through, for the loss of income of the deceased. It's only punitive damages designed to punish the wrongful conduct. So those are the three biggest things you need to know about Alabama wrongful death claims.